Welcome and thank you for tuning in to episode number 12 of 10 Tesla Topics, your show for Tesla related news, rumors, and stories. My name is Max Maurice, and today's show is for Saturday, March 4th, 2017. The topics discussed today are the following: a little feud between Tesla and an employee, Tesla is creeping their way into Russia, how to not use Autopilot, a Tesla commercial contest, and Tesla did great in Consumer Reports' annual brand report. Topic number 1 comes from Tesla Roddy, and it's a little bit of a longer one, to say the least. So Tesla was sued by a female engineer who claims that the climate of pervasive harassment has obstructed her career advancement. 33-year-old AJ Vandermaiden began her career at Tesla in 2013, so quite the early days there, and continues today. Among her claims are a lower salary than males at a comparable job assignments, promotions based on gender rather than qualifications, and a cultural climate where a female who raises concerns becomes the object of internal human resources scrutiny. Her complaints include male coworkers engaging in sexual harassment that goes unaddressed by human resources. However, she did say, "I'm an advocate of Tesla. I really do believe they are doing great things. That said, I can't turn a blind eye if there's something fundamentally wrong going on." She also acknowledged that she may face serious risks for making the public aware of her lawsuit against Tesla. Her lawyer states that many females in similar positions choose not to speak up. It's very difficult for women to come forward. They're concerned that their career is going to be hindered or jeopardized, which I can understand, especially in this climate and in this economy and market. So Vandermaiden moved up through the Tesla ranks to a manufacturing engineering position in the General Assembly Department. In her case, it was common for her to be the only female in meetings with 40 to 50 males. She outlines that this male-centric Tesla workplace can be hostile for women and dismissive when discussions around barriers to female workplace equality are raised. The response, she said, is often, "We're focused on making cars. We don't have time to deal with all this other stuff." The complaint, which was filed in autumn 2016, alleges that although she designed a solution to compensate for inadequacies in vehicle quality testing, which has been overlooked by supervisors and male engineers, she was not recognized for her problem solving at the time of her performance reviews. Instead, her lawsuit claims that Tesla retaliated against her for being a whistleblower when she raised concerns about these cars sold in a defective state. Also, according to the complaint, males were granted positions above her as a result. She also experienced unwelcome and pervasive harassment by men on the factory floor, including, but not limited to, inappropriate language, whistling, and catcalls, says the lawsuit. Objections about sexual harassment, which she raised in 2015, went unheeded. Instead, Vandermaiden was told that in order to advance in her position, she must achieve what she felt was an unattainable factory performance standard, one that was not expected of male engineers. But despite the positive performance evaluations she received, Vandermaiden concluded that her best opportunities for her career advancement and overcoming institutional barriers were to transfer to the purchasing department, which is her current position at Tesla. And so following that report, Tesla has fired back with an official response. The response to AJ Vandermaiden, who filed the lawsuit over claims of pervasive harassment, indicates that the company promoted her into successful engineering roles despite her having no engineering background and even after her initial complaints of alleged discrimination. She saw an advance into at least one other new role, evidence of the fact that Tesla is committed to rewarding hard work and talent regardless of background, says Tesla in its response. So an independent employment attorney was also hired to perform a full investigation. According to Tesla's statement, the report determined that Mrs. Vandermaiden's claims of gender discrimination, harassment, and retaliation have not been validated. And so Tesla Roddy received the following statement from Tesla, and I quote, "Tesla is committed to creating a positive workplace environment that is free of discrimination for all our employees. Mrs. Vandermaiden joined Tesla in a sales position in 2013, and since then, despite having no formal engineering degree, she has sought and moved into successive engineering roles, beginning with her work in Tesla's paint shop and eventually another role in general assembly. Even after she made her complaints about alleged discrimination, she sought that and was advanced into at least one other new role, evidence of the fact that Tesla is committed to rewarding hard work and talent regardless of background. When Mrs. Vandermaiden first brought her concerns over to us about a year ago, we immediately retained a neutral third party, Ann Hilbert of EMC2 Law, to investigate her claims so that, if warranted, we could take appropriate action to address the issues she raised. After an exhaustive review of the facts, the independent investigator determined that Mrs. Vandermaiden's claims of gender discriminations, harassment, and retaliation have not been validated. Without this context, the story presented in the original article is misleading. Okay, so topic number 2 comes from Electric. And so Tesla was first planning to deploy superchargers in Russia last year, but has been pushed to this year based on the 2017 supercharger expansions plan on Tesla's website. Well, it seems like Tesla is getting ready to expand in Russia with showrooms in Moscow and St. Petersburg, according to a report from a local media. Sources in real estate market told Russia's Kommersant that Tesla is looking for an office space in Moscow and other locations to open service centers and stores in Moscow and St. Petersburg. Service centers in Russia will be quite appreciated by a lot of Tesla owners who already decided to import their Model X and S, despite that Tesla has not really officially been offering sales or service in the country. Around 300 people now drive Teslas in Russia, and they joined together to operate their unofficial service center in Moscow until Tesla officially enters the market. So if Kommersant's report turns out to be true, the Tesla ownership experience should become quite a bit easier for Russian Tesla owners. Topic number 3 comes from Electric. So earlier this week, a Tesla Model S hit a barrier on the highway near Dallas, Texas. Fortunately, the driver wasn't injured, but he blamed Tesla's Autopilot for the crash. Well, we now have footage of the accident, and it actually shows a situation that Autopilot probably shouldn't be expected to be able to handle, at least not yet. So since the current Autopilot is only a driver assist system, and drivers are asked to keep their hands on the steering wheel, the responsibility falls on the driver. Now, of course, that's unless the Autopilot malfunctions and automatically steers away from the lane and into the side of the road or something like that. The driver involved in the crash described the accident in a Reddit post on Monday. I quote, "I was driving in the left lane of a 2-lane highway. The car is AP1, which is Autopilot 1, the first generation Autopilot, and I've never had any problems until today. Autopilot was on and didn't give me a warning. It misread the road and hit the barrier. After the airbags deployed, there was a bunch of smoke and my car rolled to a grinding stop. Thankfully, no one was hurt and I walked away with only bruises." He attached these pictures from the aftermath, which is quite significant. Well, another Redditor of the Tesla Motors subreddit found footage of the accident taken from the dash cam of a vehicle following the Tesla during the event. The footage shows that the Tesla needed to merge or change lanes in order to avoid the barrier, something that the Autopilot should never be left to do without the driver intervening. And so, as bad as this sounds, Autopilot's autosteer feature did do its job, which is to keep the vehicle in the lane, which was still marked on the road leading right into the barrier, as you could see from the video right here. So until Tesla's Autopilot reaches level 4 or 5 autonomy, which shouldn't be until very later this year, the driver remains responsible for monitoring the vehicle. That means keep your eyes on the road, your hands on the wheel, and of course be safe out there. Topic number 4 comes from Tesla Roddy. And so Wednesday evening, Elon jumped on Twitter and responded to a letter from a little girl who had written him a letter. And near the end of the letter, she suggested that Tesla put on a competition to select the best fan-made commercial as a way to raise awareness and to get people excited about Tesla. Elon responded with, "Thank you for the lovely letter. That sounds like a great idea. We'll do it." And as you probably know, Tesla hasn't really found the need to advertise and basically rely on word to mouth, which is, of course, very smart. And contests typically generate more buzz than any resulting product, so this is really a no-brainer for Tesla. Also, they don't need to invest much beyond, of course, just supporting the competition for all the people who will enter the contest. But this is very interesting. Like when I heard the story, I was very happy because this girl, if I remember correctly, I believe she's in grade 5, which kind of reminded me of something I almost did. I think I was younger than grade 5, maybe like grade 2 or something. Anyways, so at the time, my Tesla, if you will, was polar bears. I loved polar bears and WWF and all these things. You know, I did all my school projects on polar bears, etc., etc. And one day my parents told me, you know, oh, polar bears are dying, global warming, etc., etc. I was like, oh, you know, how is this possible and stuff? So I took the initiative. I really wanted to hold a bake sale and, you know, sell cookies and Rice Krispies and whatever. And all the money I would then donate to WWF. However, I don't remember exactly why. I think it was because my directrice, which is I don't know the word in English, but anyways, the head of the school, I think she declined the thing because of like health issues or something. I don't know. Either way, but yeah, so it's good for this girl because of course, she's very young, but she's also, of course, very implied, which is great to hear. But you, the listener, will you enter the contest? Will you make a little video and send it to Tesla? Like I probably won't, only because I'm not that creative. But I'm sure a couple of you listening right now do have the creative mindset to make a pretty cool commercial. So I encourage you to do it, and of course, send it to Tesla. And topic number 5 comes from Electrek. So Consumer Reports released its annual auto brand report, and it is the first year of eligibility for Tesla since they now have 2 vehicles tested in 2016, of course, the Model S and the Model X. And so Tesla grabbed the top spot for American brands and 8th in total. So here's how they ranked all the automakers. The overall score is a combination of our road tests, predicted reliability, owner satisfaction, and safety. For each brand, we indicate the percentage of tested models that earned a recommended designation. Under the scoring system, Audi and Porsche ranked first and second, BMW grabbed the 3rd spot, and Tesla placed 8th. Now, it's worth noting that they were one of only 2 in the top 10 American brands because Buick ended up in 10th place. So if you're interested, right here, I'm posting a picture of all the overall scores and the top road tests. All right, so those were your 5 Tesla topics for Saturday, March 4th, 2017. For any questions, remarks, or even criticism, I encourage you to follow the show's Instagram and Twitter pages at 10 Tesla Topics. That's TENTESLATOPICS. And if you wish, you can also send me an email at 10teslatopics@gmail.com. That's TENTESLATOPICS@gmail.com. But be sure to subscribe to the 10 Tesla Topics YouTube channel to never miss an episode. And of course, feel free to comment down below. We'll see you right here next Tuesday for the next show. Thank you for listening. And of course, have yourself a model excellent day.